Nat 20. Hi folks, Merlin here, bringing you another Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer video. So we're beginning Pack 7, which includes the issues 23, 24, 25 and 26. So, literally just before I started filming this, someone on the Discord group I'm on for Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer popped up and said issue 27 has the first of a 7-parter sea-setted campaign. So that's going to be quite interesting to look at, but that won't be for a while. Obviously, I haven't had that package yet. So for those of you picking up issues as they come in the shops, you'll be able to start that a little bit earlier. But from the last message I saw, it's going to be quite nice. Lengthy campaign is going to be fun for people who enjoy a more immersed setting, especially one that takes quite a while. Plus there's nice deck plans for the actual ship you'll be traveling on, which is going to be quite interesting. So yeah, fun times ahead. So yeah, we'll come back more to the present, and today we're going to be looking at issue 23, and we're starting our third encounter. Not only that, we have some bumper gifts with this issue. So first off, we'll take a look at the front cover. So we have a brand new front cover. So we got our heroes facing off against a ferocious red dragon there. So we start looking at our third level characters. This issue is literally all third level characters, with the exception of looking at shape changes and the Harper agents, plus of course our brand new adventure starts. So yeah, choose your rogue and fighter archetypes as part of our classes articles. So read through it yesterday. Some pretty cool stuff to look through. So for gifts, we get 3 gifts technically. So gift 1 is of course a brand new set of dice. Hard to see, but they're black and green, very akin to our black and blue and black and red sets we've already had. So yeah, just basic. Gift 2 is spells of 2nd level booklet. So yeah, same as our first one. Goes through all the spells we have access to at 2nd level. And finally, we have the start of our level 3 character sheets with our first 4 characters. So Merovic, Irina, Razagar and Krantor all included in this pack. Literally every issue for this delivery has a character sheet, at least one, with it. We are getting 2 new characters straight in at 3rd level, and this issue plus issue 24 includes 3rd level character sheets for all our characters introduced so far. So that's pretty much it. Before we jump over to the table, don't forget to of course check all my links in the video description, including my Patreon, where if you sign up you do get the chance to see this video early before it goes live on YouTube. If you'd like to support it, of course, there's links in the video description down below for you, as well as my social medias and eBay page. Speaking of Patreons, a big thank you to all my supporters, whether you are here on YouTube or indeed supporting me over on Patreon, where you can get free updates just about what's happening for the free tier. If you want to see all my content first off before everyone else, you will need to sign up to a paid tier. So with that all said, let's hop over the table and we'll take a more in-depth look at issue 23. So here we are up close and personal with issue 23. So yeah, we'll have a look at the front cover again. I just love that artwork. I really would like them to do a set of just the artwork of the covers without any of the text and stuff on. That would be really cool framed. That probably would have made a better gift than the dice jail we had in this delivery. So yeah, we start unlocking our 3rd level class features. We add a new archetype to our rogue and fighters, learn about spotting a shape changer and becoming a member of the Harper agents. Plus we begin our third adventure. So let's take a look then at issue 23's free gifts. So we'll start, of course, with our dice. Then we'll take a look at our brand new character sheets and spells booklet. So we've got another set of dice, and I must admit they are nice. There's a nice bright green there to the dice. But these are just a rather basic set. I do much prefer the set we get also in this delivery, which includes the premium set of dice. So yeah, they have the usual nice sheen finish there. Numbers are at least nice and clear, which is always good for dice. And we'll give them their rolls. A lot of 4s. So we've got a 4, another 4, another 4, and another 4, followed by 2 2s, which make up a 4, and then a 9. So let's see if we can get a little higher on some of those high numbers. I do like we got a 4 on a D4 first roll though. That's pretty good. And that's not a lot better. We've only got a 9 on the D20, 9 on the D10, 8 on the D10, 5, a 7 and a 3, but we're down to a 2 on the D4. Not too bad. As I said, yeah, these are just nice basic dice. They will probably sadly never see play. I'm not the biggest fan of green, with the exception, of course, of that premium set that I think we get in 20... I think it's 26, the last issue of this delivery. So yeah, another set to add to the growing collection. Alright, next up then, we'll take a look at the spell booklet and our character sheets. First up then, spell booklet part 2, focusing on our second level spells. So we have our spells by class, so alphabetical order, so our bard, our cleric, our druid, paladin, ranger, sorcerer, warlock and wizard there. A nice little introduction there about becoming second level spellcasters. And then we got our complete A to Z list of our second level spells. So what you need to do to find the spell you're looking for. Find your class. So we'll say we have a paladin and he wants to cast the magic weapon spell. So we simply turn the page and keep scrolling through until we find M. And there we have magic weapon there. So yeah, nice detailed description of all our spells, giving us the attack and save if needed, casting time, its range if any, the duration, as components, plus a description of what the spell does. So yeah, I like these books, they're very handy, great for any spellcasting type character to have at the table. You can easily quickly bring up the spell you are wanting to cast. Yeah, all in all, quite handy. So next up then, we got our character sheets. So we're going to take a look here, just quickly to see what's changed. So Krantor's max hit points have gone up to 24 now. He's got 3 D8 hit dice there. Dagger, rapier, and a short bow as his weapons. And of course, any new features, his equipment he has. And if he had any spells, they'd be here, but he doesn't. Razagar then, a dwarf, so Acolyte there, Cleric, Life Domain, 27 hit points, armor class 18, so she's pretty tanky. Light Crossbow, a Warhammer, and she's got the Guiding Bolt spell there. Of course, features and traits, and then of course all her spells, so she can have 4 first level spells prepared and 2 second level spells prepared there as well. So we've got all the ones that she can actually have. Any that are always prepared in consideration in... Any that are always considered to be prepared, even when you prepare other spells. So she's got Bless, as well as Cure Wounds. So she can have up to 6 first level spells prepared. And then for second level spells, she's also got a couple here that she always has prepared. So Lesser Restoration and Spiritual Weapon, in addition to the other 2 spell slots. Irina Ilorus, Arcane Archer. So she's actually started adding a little bit of magic to her bowcraft. So she has a longbow, short sword, hand axe, and a quarterstaff now. 31 hit points, so actually probably the highest of the entire party. Armor class 16, so not the... Yeah, so pretty average really, I think. And then she has her Druidcraft cantrip there. So... nice little ability that she can add as she's started tapping into magical abilities with her bow of her arrows. Finally then, Merovic Farfoot, our little halfling wizard. So 20 hit points, 12 armor class, so he's not the most armored, of course, as most wizards tend to be. So we have all his new abilities, his weapons, a dagger, firebolt and scorching ray spells. And of course, all his cantrips and first and second level spells that he has access to. So yeah, again, same as Razagar, can take 4 first level spells and 2 second level spells. Plus he has Firebolt, Light, and Prestidigitation. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Prestidigitation as a cantrip there. And yeah, all his spells that you can choose from to have as active. Right, that was a lot to go through, but we can finally start diving into our actual issue. So, diving into issue 23. So, our full contents for the issue. We have, of course, Adventure 3, Encounter 1, or Encounter 23 overall, Fool's Gold. We have our character creation, so we got 6 pages, Rogue features for 3rd level parts 1 and 2, Wizard part level 3 features, Cleric level 3 features, and Fighter part 1 and 2 features as well. For our lore, we have a couple of things. So monsters, we look at shape changes, as we will be encountering one. And factions, we look at the Harpers Guild and how to join them. So with this issue, we get, of course, our second spell booklet containing second level spells used by characters and NPCs, 3rd level character sheets for our first 4 characters, and a set of black and green dice. Then we've got our usual D&D Beyond QR code there, customer service, and binders at the very bottom there. So looking then at our rogue with his 3rd level features. So with experience comes specialization, as rogues master impressive new talents. So yeah, when a rogue hits 3rd level, they can choose to go into a special type of style known as the roguish archetype. So you can choose whether you want to be a remorseless assassin who uses poison-coated blades, be a prankster who has tapped into the weave to use trickster magic, or a simple spy master who knows how to get information but in less savoury ways. So over the page then we have a look, I think I'll skip the page. We have a look at the first 4 of our archetypes that we can go through. So first off we have Arcane Trickster then, so we start to learn to add magic into our sneaky ways. So we get spellcasting feature, 3 cantrips from the wizards list, and 3 first level wizard spells. We also get Mage Hand as a special feature, so we can make our Mage Hand cantrip invisible, able to help us disarm traps and unlock doors. There's the Assassin class, so if you like to go stabby, the Assassin is for you. The Inquisitive, so if you like to be deceitful, gain information from less savoury people, this is the way to go for you. You also, when you make a Wisdom Insight check to detect a lie, you can count any roll of 7 or lower as an 8, so you can always pretty much guarantee a pass with that. Then we of course talk about our hit points increasing, so we add an extra sneak attack, does an extra 2d6, and we add either a d8 plus constitution modifier or taking 5 plus a constitution modifier. Then finally we have the Mastermind, so you're an espionage expert, you're good at making plans and tactics. Yeah, very handy things to do if you want to be the more commanding leader type of a party. Continuing then, we got rogue features of the 3rd level, so further roguish archetypes for you to consider at your 3rd level milestone. So we just have a quick reminder of what we looked at in the first part there, which we've just looked at. So yeah, we now have 6 here to go through. So we have the Phantom, so these are people who are able to pretty much become a ghost and sneak around. We have Scouts, so those that are more tuned to nature, will often align themselves with wilderness adventurers and military units, as well as nomadic clans. Soul Knife, so those that can bend psychic powers and blades to their will. We have the Swashbuckler, so perhaps you prefer to do things with sword and skill and fancy footwork. This is the class for you, archetype for you. We of course have the classic Thief here. So this is the option chosen by Krantor. He is a thief. So he gains Fast Hands feature, means they can use Cunning action as a bonus action to pick pockets, disarm traps, open locks, or use an objective action, giving them much more flexibility. And finally, there's an optional feature if DMs allow. So if the DM allows it at this level, you can also take the optional Steady Aim feature for your rogue. This means that as a bonus action, you can give yourself advantage on your attack roll, but only if you haven't moved, and if you do use this ability, you can't move for the rest of the turn. So good if you can get a few multiple ranged attacks off, very handy. Looking at our next class, we have wizard features of the 3rd level. More spells become available to your wizard as they increase in power. So yeah, we add 2 new 1st level spells from the wizard discipline. And of course we add the 2nd level spells as well. So Mirovic here will bring a total of 7 spells, not including his cantrips. So yeah, pretty cool. Top tip about your spell book, remembering which spells you got. So you can learn more spells than just the 2 they learn at each new level. You can copy spells into your spell book from scrolls and other spell books at the cost of 50 GP for each level of the spell. Then we got a quick guide here of 6 amazing 2nd level spells that you have the option to take. Hold Person, very handy. Levitate, Mirror Image, Misty Step, Scorching Ray, and Suggestion. We have a top tip about concentration, and finally our hit point increase as well. Next up then, we look at our Cleric 3rd level features. So access new divinely powered spells as your Cleric's connection to their deity grows. So yeah, we're getting more power from our gods as we level up. So we've got 5 heavenly 2nd level spells. So we've got Aid, Hold Person, much like the Wizard has. Locate Object, Prayer of Healing, Silence, Lesser Restoration, and Spiritual Weapon there. So a couple of top tips about using Hold Person, and one here about Raziar being life domain. It has 2 additional spells prepared in addition to the rest that she already has. And finally, a hit point increase as well. Finally, then we look at fighter features part 1 and 2. So it's time for your fighter to specialize, but which martial archetype will they choose? So as your fighter levels up, they can choose again an archetype, much like our rogue. So you've got Arcane Archer, which, as we've already discovered, is Irina's chosen archetype. So these are ones that can add magic effects into their arrows, and even have the chance of creating arrows that might even return to them as well. But yeah, bursting arrows are probably a more common one, which give explosions, dealing force damage, 2d6 to all creatures within 10 feet of its target. Arcane Shot can only be applied once per round, though you can choose for it to trigger after seeing if it has hit or not, which is handy. Other choices, we have the Battle Master. So are you a Master of Tactics? And do you consider every fight to just be a puzzle to be solved? This will be the archetype for you. We also have the Champion. So are you a Remarkable Fighter? This new feature allows you to crit on rolls of 19 as well as 20. And then you have the Cavalier. So you are a mounted warrior born to be in the saddle. You can dismount for a mere cost of only 5 feet of movement instead of half. You also have harder to remove from the saddle, and if you are forcefully removed, you will land on your feet as you are an expert dismounter. So yeah, pretty cool if you want to become more of a knightly type of fighter. Looking at our third level, even part 2. Other martial archetypes for you to consider when you hit 3rd level. So you could be an Eldritch Knight, giving yourself a little bit of extra spellcasting ability to add to your fighting style. You can become a Psychic Warrior or Psi Warrior, being able to do psionic damage and defeat, as well as being able to give yourself a protective shield. So you get psionic dice, which are d6s. So they can do various things. As I said, protecting force field, telekinetic movements and moving items of your mind, as well as psionic strikes. We have the Purple Dragon Knight, also known as the Bannerets. Fighters are members of an elite military order from the proud, prosperous and war-torn nation of Cormier. So yeah, you gain Rallying Cry here, and your second wind feature can be extended to up to 3 allies within 60 feet of you. So that's pretty cool. We have a Rune Knight, so you are a master of adding runes to your weapons, giving a slight magical effect. You also gain +2 to strength and constitution checks. So at 3rd level, you know 2 runes. You can inscribe up to 2 items. And you gain a proficiency with Smith's Tools, Giant Language, and you can even turn yourself into a giant temporarily. Finally then, we have the Samurai here, or Samurai. These intense and relentless warriors gain the Fighting Spirit feature, which boosts both their offensive and defensive capabilities, as well as granting them 5 temporary hit points when activated as a bonus action. It also provides advantage on attack rolls until the end of your turn. They can also use this feature 3 times, regaining all expended uses after a long rest. You also gain skills, proficiency, or a language there as well. Whew. Moving on then, we're going to start looking at our lore pages, and we got 2 to look at before our adventure. We got Shape Changers. In the Forgotten Realms, some monsters are far more than meets the eye. So yeah, we got various different creatures within the more Forgotten Realms here that have the ability to shape change. Some do it to better understand and protect those they admire. Others do it for trickster ability and even to drain out power. So yeah, we'll have a look at some of those. So we have, of course, our basic imps. Nasty little creatures. They like to transform into small animals to spy on people and hopefully, of course, torment them. Doppelgangers. These are creatures that have greyish skin. They look like humanoids but with no hair and very little facial features. They're very rarely seen in their natural form. They prefer to assume the shape of whichever humanoid creature is their chosen victim before they kill them, of course. We have, of course, succubi and incubi. These are demons who are... Succubi are females, incubi are males. They tend to be humanoid in feature, with the exception that they have horns, tails, and wings. They will appear in pure humanoid form, being able to polymorph into a humanoid, and often drain a person's energy through seduction. Next up then we have the dungeon standard mimic here. So mimics are creatures that can disguise themselves as mundane inanimate objects, most commonly chests. They have a pseudopod, which is usually the form of a long tongue, which they can bludgeon their prey before chomping them down with their fang-filled mouths there. We have the Slardy, who are frog-like creatures able to assume small or medium-sized creatures. Finally then, we have the metallic dragons. Virtuous metallic scaled dragons enjoy rubbing soldiers with humanoids, living alongside and amongst them, often incognito in a polymorphed form. Some are driven by curiosity, others by a desire to more effectively protect the lesser beings they are so fond of. Finally then, we take a look at the Harpers Guild. So join the fight against tyranny as an agent of the Harpers. So the Harpers is one of the more peaceful organizations within the Forgotten Realms, and was originally formed by a group of harp-using bards, which is how they got their name. Their symbol is the crescent moon with a harp in the centre on a blue background there. So their motto states, down with tyranny, fairness and equality for all. So they are very good aligned. And yeah, they like to keep an eye out and protect the weaker, less self-efficient people within the Forgotten Realms. So how to join? You can't usually just go up to them and say, hi, I want to be a member. Usually they will reach out to you. You are given a brooch with the Harper emblem on, and then you will be given your first mission. It's kind of considerate that you aren't all that outward about your own personal dealings within the Harpers. It is more a all for one and none for one sort of thing. Usually a lot of their work is done in secret, as they don't want to draw too much attention to themselves. Finally then, we have a notable list of the famous Harpers. So Laerel Silverhand, the current Open Lord of Waterdeep and one of the 7 daughters of the goddess Mystra, known to oppose such powerful enemies as Manchun, as well as the Beholder Crime Lord Xanathar. Edgin Darvis, Elminster Ormar, Jaheira, and Mert the Moneylender, who we see here. So, former adventurer, now Masked Lord of Waterdeep and advisor to Laerel Silverhand. And then finally, we have Ramalia Haventree, or Rami to her friends. Right then, into this issue's adventure we go. So we start Adventure 3, Encounter 23. So this is Fool's Gold. Balanced for 3rd level characters. You can use, of course, with pre-generated characters or create your own. Playtime 1 to 2 hours. And the encounter background. So, a malicious doppelganger named Zizix escaped from Neverwinter's prison. After encountering Aurum Greywind in the streets, the shapeshifter was impressed with the man's style and decided to become him. Living large in the city is expensive, though, so the doppelganger hatched a plan to steal a mound of gold. In order to complete the plan, the doppelganger needed paperwork, so it followed Aurum and learned his business. Eventually, he assumed the shape of Aurum's bookkeeper, Archibald Sondor. He used his form to request some documents from Aurum, thereby securing the man's signature. Next, he impersonated Orm and told the real Archibald that business was booming and it was time to expand. Despite Archibald's initial reluctance, the doppelganger's lies finally convinced him, and he procured documents to back a loan request. Armed with the documents and Orm's signature, the doppelganger went to Maycoin's bank impersonating Orm and secured a loan for 3,000 GP. A few days later, the real Orm received a letter from the bank that summarized the loan details. When he stormed into the bank demanding that this blunder be fixed, the bank refused. Wintershield, a watchman, refused to help too. Fiala Ashfield, the bard, found Orm drinking himself into oblivion in a local tavern. She decided to help by dragging him to meet the adventurers on the following morning. So, yeah, there's poor Orm drinking himself into a stupor, wondering how the hell this has happened. And, yeah, we have to, of course... we are introduced by Fiala there to Orm. So we choose our characters, of course, and they are introduced. We are informed about Manycoin's bank. We learn about the bookkeeper there. We have an event, so unearned consequences. We learn about the House of 1,000 Faces. We have the House of 1,000 Faces itself there. So a lot of it looks like it's a prison or hospital sort of setup. We've got double beds, single beds here, so we need to close in on the doppelganger. So we believe he's in room 2. So we got bard profile for our elven lady who has found the commoner profile there for Orm, and then on the back we have our doppelganger. So yeah, very not the worst looking creatures we've seen. We had the Naperabo a few issues ago. Yeah, they're definitely nightmare fueled. But yeah, there we have it. Alright, I'll bring everything back in. I'll give you my final thoughts on issue 23. So there we have issue 23 of Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. Pretty good issue. Nice that it's stacked with a load of new abilities. As we're looking now at becoming 3rd level, we have a look, of course, at brand new class features. We have a brand new spell booklet. We have brand new character sheets. And basic set of dice, as I said. These black and monocolor sort of dice aren't, my favourite. We do have, of course, a rather cool set in this delivery, which is definitely my favourite of the collection so far. Other than that, the information in the magazine itself is pretty good. It gives us the information we need for becoming 3rd level with our first 4 characters, which is pretty much how we're going to be seeing things go forward. We're going to focus on the main 4 characters first and foremost, and then we'll look at our other characters as we go into the other issues. So issue 24, I believe we look at our Druid, Dragonborn, Barbarian, the Bard, and I'm trying to think what the other one was. The Orc Paladin. We look at those in the next issue. Then we get the issues after that. We get 2 brand new characters. We get a Tiefling, and we get... I've forgotten the other one. But yeah, we get 2 brand new characters for this delivery. So some new 3rd level characters we can add to our our repertoire of characters. Some nice little bits of lore as well, learning about shape changes before we face up against the doppelganger, as well as the Harpers guild. So we actually probably most likely encounter one of the Harpers guild in that encounter, as well as she helps poor Orm there with his predicament of being in debt to a bank. So yeah, I think out of 5 for this issue is going to be a good solid 5. Loads of good content, nice amount of free gifts that are all very helpful. Hopefully if we see more issues like this going forward, I think, we're going to start seeing a bit more value for future issues. The only issue that really falls down for value in this last delivery we've got, so delivery 7, I think this issue that comes with the plastic standees is a little lackluster. But again, we do get a new character, which I've now remembered is another halfling, but I can't remember what he is, his class. I think we do get a brand new class for him, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, we get the Tiefling, of course, in issue 26, which, of course, comes with a metal dice. And, yeah, that's another letdown issue. Metal dice are very gimmicky. I don't ever see myself using them. Although I would like to see us get a metal set that is hollow, because there's somebody at my group who has a set, and oh, they make a lovely ringing sound when you shake them. Really cool. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough, I think. So there we have it. Issue 23, a 5 out of 5 for me. So until next time, stay safe and keep rolling those crits.